Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time.
So let's just jump right in with a big question. What does it actually take to escape a system that's designed to be inescapable? You know, when all the rules are rigged and every door seems locked, what kind of person manages to find a way out? And maybe more importantly, what's the real cost of that escape?
Well, to explore that exact question, we're going to dive into Aravind Adiga's incredible novel, The White Tiger. And our guide on this journey is the narrator, a guy named Balram Halwai. See, Balram doesn't see his country as one single place. For him, it's two completely different, separate worlds.
And here's how Balram breaks it down. You've got the India of light, the modern world, full of wealth, opportunity, call centers, the whole deal. But then there's the India of darkness. That's where he's from, and he describes it as this place of just crushing poverty. It's a trap, like being stuck in a black, sticky mud that you can never, ever wash off.
Okay, so with a gap that massive, how does a system like that actually keep control? How does it keep millions of people trapped in the darkness? Well, the book gives us this incredibly powerful and frankly pretty disturbing metaphor for how it all works.
The narrator, he calls it the Great Rooster Coop. And yeah, it's a state of permanent servitude. But here's the real key. It's not just a physical cage. It's a mental one. It's built on this deep, gut-level certainty that there is no way out, even when you can literally see your own doom right around the corner. And this line just perfectly captures the psychological horror of it all. See, it isn't about being ignorant. The roosters know what's coming. They watch their brothers get taken out, butchered, sold. They see it all. The real horror of the coop isn't the cage, it's the paralysis. It's that acceptance of fate, that inability to even try to fight back.
So what are the bars on this psychological cage? Well, the book really breaks it down for us. For starters, your family is basically a hostage. The masters, they know exactly where your parents and siblings live, and that unspoken threat, it keeps you in line. Then there's the corruption, which is so widespread it's not even seen as corruption anymore. It's just how things get done. And later on top of all that is this deep internalized idea that you were born to serve, something that's been taught for generations. And, if any of that fails, well, there's always just raw, brutal violence to put you back in your place.
I mean, that sounds completely and utterly inescapable, right? But that's the whole point of the story. It's asking, is it possible to break out? And if it is, what is the terrible, terrible price you have to pay for that freedom?
For Balram, the path to freedom isn't some accident. It's a very deliberate three-step journey. First, he says you have to truly see the coop for what it is, a trap. Then, and this is absolutely crucial, you have to completely reject the moral code that the trap uses to keep you in place. And finally, in his worldview, the only way to really shatter the cage for good is to commit an act of unbelievable, extreme violence.
So here's the core idea. You can't escape the rooster coop while you're still a rooster. To get out, you have to become something else entirely. You have to become a tiger, a creature, as he says, that's born only once in a generation, one that's willing to do what no one else will.
And that right there brings us to the real price of freedom. It forces us to ask a really difficult question. In a system that is itself completely and fundamentally corrupt, what does morality even mean anymore?
And here's the narrator's own justification, and it's just chilling. The system has so totally defined his entire being by the word servant that for him, getting rid of that label even for a single minute is worth any crime imaginable. It's a terrifying look at how a system can warp a person's entire moral compass until freedom at any cost becomes the only thing that matters.
All of which leaves us with a final question to really think about. The rooster coop is an extreme, brutal example, but it makes you wonder, right? What are the invisible coops that shape our own lives? What unseen systems of control, or tradition, or expectation are keeping us in place?
For the full long-form deep dive into this book and its ideas, follow the link in the description.
If you enjoy these explainers, please subscribe and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.